Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and a few weeks back now, Source Audio released their Artifakt, their stereo lo-fi workstation of a pedal. It's a DSP powered lo-fi texture machine that has some really fun sounds across a number of different effects types. This pedal is about 5 years in the making, according to Source Audio. They've taken their time to really create and craft and hone and refine the sounds in here, and I think it's a really cool unit for a number of reasons. And so while there are a few really deep dive almost video tutorial type demos out there of this pedal already, highly recommend my friend Mark Johnston's version, as he really takes an exhaustive look on about any pedal he gets in. This video is going to be a little bit more casual, not nearly as in-depth, but I'm going to take a look at 5 of my favorite aspects of this pedal. We're going to talk about context and use cases for it, some of my favorite sounds, some of my favorite features, and the implementation of them in the Artifakt here, and why I think it's a really cool approach to lo-fi sounds, why it's an impressive one where a lot of lo-fi pedals end up emulating one or maybe 2 different sounds, tape or vinyl or the like. This pedal really kind of combines a number of different effects and sounds and textures into one pedal for you to be able to choose from and utilize in whatever contexts or situations you might be in. So we're going to go over the Artifakt to talk briefly about the control set, although I encourage you to dive into the manual and some of those other video resources that have come out in the past weeks. And then we're going to share 5 of my favorite elements of this pedal and share some different sound samples and contexts that I've enjoyed using it in the studio here so far. Big shout out to Source Audio for sending this over and sponsoring this video, and a huge thank you to you guys. Thanks for the continued support, watching and engaging with these videos. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe below. If you're a gear fan, if you like pedals like this, if you're into guitars and amps and reviews and things like that, we have a lot of those in the catalog and a lot upcoming here, so please subscribe and follow along and support the channel that way. So let's briefly run down Artifakt. It's a compact stereo in, stereo out digital offering from Source Audio. There's 7 unique modes that give you a vast variety of different lo-fi textures and experimental sounds. You have a radio emulator, a tape emulator, a cool patch called mu-Verb, which gives you this lo-fi kind of low-res reverb sound. You have a bit crush mode, ladder filter mode, a really cool vinyl emulator, and a glitch mode that gives you some cool micro looping and kind of glitchy and pitch shifty textures and sounds too. Some really fun sounds and possibilities in this pedal, and I'm excited to show you my 5 favorite aspects of it here. Throughout the sound samples here, I'm going to be using a Fano JM6 with P90 pickups. I'm also going to be using an Orangewood Juniper rubber bridge guitar in one of the sections, and otherwise leaning on the Artifakt to give us our textures, our lo-fi sounds, and on occasion adding in a Source Audio collider for some reverb and delay here in the sound samples. But let's dive into my 5 favorite aspects about the Artifakt from Source Audio. The first reason why I really love this pedal is that aside from the kind of out there extreme lo-fi textures you can get from it, which there's plenty of, you can also get some really fantastic, quite usable everyday type sounds in the flanger, chorus, delay, and even sort of just preamp texture categories. So I'm going to share some sounds of some of my favorite chorus sounds that I can get from this pedal. It really makes this pedal quite versatile to have on your board, where you can dial in a tone that is very traditional sounding, sounds really lush and really pleasing in the chorus category there, and also be able to, if you need or want, flip over to some of those more extreme experimental lo-fi sounds. So let's check out some of those more traditional leaning chorus tones here. Staying on the tape mode, which is honestly one of my favorite parts about this pedal. It's a really great, really nicely voiced algorithm with a lot of range and dynamics. We're going to show some sounds of a more gritty sort of tape flanger effect that I really love. And I think, again, the cool aspect of this pedal, the Artifakt, is that in a lot of the different algorithms, you get this Destruct control, which can add some grit, some overdrive, some kind of like tape texture, or in more extreme modes, the distortion or sort of hard clipping sounds that you get from an overdrive pedal. It's all housed in this pedal, so you can kind of get away with dialing that up and acting like you have an overdrive in front of the Artifakt. So we're gonna hear some sounds in that same tape mode, a little bit more extreme tape flange type effect with that distressed kind of saturated effect happening too. Check it out. My third favorite thing about the Artifakt is this mode they're calling mu-Verb. It's a really cool kind of shoegazy, lo-fi sounding reverb. And like I mentioned in the intro, you don't always get a variety of effect types in a lo-fi emulator like this, but to have a reverb on board of this pedal is really cool. It gives you that shoegazy kind of like low res, lo-fi sounding reverb. You also, again, have that ability to dial in some saturation, some grit and overdrive into the reverb circuit as well. And also incorporate some of the modulation chorus type effects happening throughout this pedal. So you can really get that classic shoegaze, really sort of warbly and gritty and grainy reverb sound. And you can also utilize this foot switch on the right hand side here to start to oscillate the reverb and have that kind of billow into that beautiful chaos that you use in that type of genre often too. So really fun algorithm, really fun possibilities with that foot switch and the drive circuit in the reverb there. So we're going to hear some sounds from the mu-Verb algorithm here. My fourth favorite thing about this pedal is the incorporation of a vinyl emulator. Now, there's a number of vinyl emulation pedals or algorithms out there at this point, but this one sounds really great. It has some of the features and sounds that you would expect from a vinyl emulator. And one of my favorite contexts to use this type of sound is with my rubber bridge guitar. The kind of staccato-y, almost piano-like response and attack from the rubber bridge guitar just melds pretty cool with these lo-fi textures, specifically the vinyl emulator. So I'm going to showcase some of those sounds here with the orange wood juniper and just kind of give you a taste of how you can add that type of effect to an instrument that's a little bit outside the norm and get some really fun results. So this is the orange wood juniper with the vinyl algorithm here on Artifakt. My fifth favorite thing about the Artifakt, and an algorithm that is a bit of a surprise, but a pleasant surprise that was added onto this pedal, is the sounds that you can get from glitch mode, the 7th mode, all the way around to the right here. It's a really interesting envelope controlled sort of micro looper. If you're familiar with pedals like Mood or Count to 5, it has a similar type of thing going on there, controlled by your dynamics when you play into it. It's sort of always recording, and so it's capturing some of the last moments that you've played and then doing some fun kind of pitch shifting and things on the back end. It's really one of those algorithms that I'm not really sure what's going on entirely, but that's kind of part of the beauty of it. And so it's fun to create little micro loops and sort of play the pedal after you've grabbed it. Also fun to add some reverb and delay after the fact to kind of transform the micro loops there, and a really useful sound for just creating more textures and more sort of ear candy or elements in your writing or your productions. So we're just going to mess around with the glitch mode for a little bit and give you a taste of what you can do with that in the studio, some fun sounds that you can create with that as the foundation. So there it is. That's the Artifakt from Source Audio. Again, big thanks to the folks over at Source Audio. They've been really kind and generous to the channel and some of my other endeavors over the years for a long time now. So I appreciate their support, continued support, and congratulations to them on a really cool offering, a really cool release in Artifakt. Go check this pedal out over there on their website. And like I said, if you want a really in-depth, deep dive video tutorial kind of video, check out my friend Mark Johnston's video. He's got a great video too on this. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment or a question below in the comments and we can talk about Artifakt. We can talk about how or when you use these sort of lo-fi elements in your writing or playing, and hear from you about what your favorite sounds in this video were as well. Thanks for watching. Take care.